This is Bill Hornbarger, Chief Investment Officer with Benjamin F. Edwards, with three things to watch for the week of October 16th, 2023. Well, the consumer has been one of the strengths of the economy this year, and the consumer activity accounts for about 2/3 of economic activity in the United States. This week, we're going to get a report on September retail sales, and that's going to come amid higher energy prices, higher interest rates, and weakening consumer sentiment. Last week, we got the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment, and it showed that sentiment has deteriorated for the last 3 months. September retail sales are expected to be up a modest 0.3%. And if you strip out automobiles, automotive parts, and gas station sales, up an even more modest 0.1%. So consumer activity starting to deteriorate a little bit. Along the same lines, we'll also pay close attention to comments from the banks that report earnings this week, comments on things like delinquencies and mortgage rates, credit card rates, and the consumer's general ability to service debt. This week, we'll get earnings reports from Bank of America and several regional banks. So again, we'll have ample opportunity to see those comments. We have a Fed meeting at the end of this month, and next week we'll enter the self-imposed blackout period that the Fed puts on before and surrounding those meetings. But before we get to that, on Wednesday we'll get the Beige Book of Economic Conditions, and then on Thursday, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell will give an important speech on the topic of the economy and monetary policy. In recent comments, the Fed has indicated that inflation remains too high, but that they're going to be patient on interest rates, signaling probably no interest rate change at the next meeting. And the Fed cites the lag and cumulative effects of the previous interest rate hikes and the fact that economic conditions have generally tightened a little bit, with the dollar being stronger and interest rates being higher. And then finally, obviously, investors are going to pay close attention to what's happening in the Middle East. A terrible and tragic human toll. The impact on the markets have been relatively muted so far, and people still working through what the ramifications are and what they could potentially be. Probably the biggest things we've seen so far are energy prices are a little bit higher, and bond yields, U.S. Treasury yields, have actually benefited a little bit from a flight to quality bid.